Well, hi. This is the beginning of what I think will be an interesting, though harrowing, series of videos in my life. We just came from the vet, and she is having 6 puppies sometime 2 weeks to 20 days from now. Unfortunately, in that exact range of time, we are going to the East Coast for a wedding, so how that's gonna work, nobody knows. This is our dog Tilly as an introduction. She doesn't know yet, I don't think, that she's gonna be a mom. She's also not yet 1 year old. With our previous dog, when we were looking for her to adopt her, we looked at all these different oops litters, and all these people described the situation around how they ended up with an oops litter, and every time I was in my head thinking like, my gosh, how dumb can you be, you know? I was like, this dumb. This is how dumb you can be. I'm convinced that the Lord is just making me less judgmental of people by just ticking down the list of the things I've judged people for and making it happen in my life. It was her very first heat, and we were on a trip to Egypt, and while we were gone, she was staying with a friend of ours. Even when we dropped her off, I said to that friend, by the way, she hasn't had her first heat yet. It could happen anytime, just so you know. But I meant that as like a, don't get anything on your rug. Not thinking like, hello to your dog right here that is unfixed and would result in... Anyway, I just didn't think. I'm in a stage of my life where I am so massively overscheduled that I don't have room in my brain for like very important connecting detail thoughts about certain things. Like your dog could get pregnant and not just get her rug dirty. So here we are. And furthermore, we had a little bit of an argument in Egypt. Not an argument, but I bought tickets for us to go into King Tut's tomb in Valley of the Kings. And then right before the day we were gonna do it, my husband was like, I don't want to go into the tomb. And I was like, why? And he was like, the curse, because of the curse. And I was like, okay, what? And I mean, I knew obviously about King Tut's curse. There was a curse inscription over the threshold when they found it. 22 people on that original dig died of crazy, unnatural situations within like a year of that dig, right? So that is a lot, but also in that day, like people died of crazy stuff all the time because they had very poor medical care and bad like safety standards on stuff. And so I was not super buying into the curse, and I'm one of those people that wants every kind of experience. This desire to want every kind of experience comes back into this in just a minute. And I decided I wanted to go anyway, and he didn't want to, which is fine. You don't have to do everything together. And my husband works doing tree removal. He was like, I hang from high places carrying chainsaws. Like, I don't really want to add, you know, any more bad luck to that situation than is already inherent in it, which I respect. So he stayed out and I went in, and then it's now been like an ongoing joke, like, oh, the curse, like which one of us is right, you know? But the next morning, the very next morning after we went into King Tut's tomb, we got a text that was like, so don't freak out, but your dog might have gotten pregnant. And we're like, the curse! It's real! And then we got home from the trip. We got her an ultrasound when it had been long enough, we thought, and the vet was like, no, she's not pregnant. There's no signs of any pregnancy. I mean, you're welcome to check again later, but in my mind, that was like, so you're just saying I should come back and pay you $50 to find out what I already know. That's what I said in my head. But then I was playing on the floor with my toddlers last night, and lo and behold, I glanced over as she walked by, like at my face to her stomach level, and I was like, oh, I'm no vet, but those look like they're getting ready to feed babies. And then later in the evening, I put my hand on her soft belly and I felt kicks. Honestly, I think it's a little bit of a blessing to have thought from the first ultrasound till now that she wasn't pregnant, because we're so maxed out in the stuff we're doing in our life right now that I don't think I mentally could have handled the thought that it was the case, like the stress of the thought of it. And so now, even though it's leaving us a little unprepared, it's I would rather have been in ignorant bliss for the time that I was, because I have some big voiceover contracts and just my life is just very, 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 very busy right now. So I'm making this video series in order to provide for someone else the information that I lacked. Not about how babies are made, though that clearly was lacking. But I fixed our last dog. I got her fixed. And we already prepaid for this one to be fixed. But I was unsure both times, because I was like, I want the experience of puppies sometime, you know? Like I said, remember I said, I want every kind of experience. That's why I went into King Tut's tomb in the first place. I want to like live life, you know? And so I wanted the tactile experience of having puppies, knowing what that's like. I wanted my kids to maybe have that experience, but I was thinking like 4 years from now. Was I living in a dream world to think that I could keep this dog not pregnant for 4 years? I didn't even make it through one heat, okay? Because I just didn't think. But part of it is I wanted to just know what it's like. So I'm doing this video series, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this oops litter, because I want other people to have like a very clear picture of what they would be getting into by having a litter of puppies. Because I think sometimes puppies are like something that when you visit litters of puppies, you're like, they're so cute, look at them, they're little, they're playful, you know, but like, I brought our first puppy home and found out that week that I was pregnant. And my first trimester happening while she was going through her puppy behaviors was horrible. But that's not really what you see when you see like a picture of puppies, you know? I do like dogs. I have a dog. She's right here, breathing very heavily and making puppies grow. She's doing a lot more work than me right now. But puppies are hard, and I think the process is probably a lot more complicated than people know. There's, you know, dubious levels of responsibility going into people's decision to just have a litter of puppies for the experience, which I don't judge anyone for, because that's what I was thinking when I was deciding about getting her fixed or not. And so I want to provide the knowledge of, if you're someone who's like, I want to go to Disneyland, but you have never heard that there were lines, like, I'd like to be here to show you the proverbial lines that are involved in having an oops litter. So that's why I'm doing this. But we just got back from the vet. She's got six puppies in the wings, and they are big. Apparently they're very big puppies, and that's not surprising because the dad is a very large goldendoodle. My last thing, please join us. Like, please come watch these videos if it'll be interesting and educational to you. It'll certainly be educational for me because it's my first time experiencing any of this. But for those of you inclined to like comment and tell people on YouTube that they're doing things wrong and there's a better way, I'm sure that's true. You can guarantee that that's true of this, because I literally have no idea what I'm doing. I would not have chose these puppies right now. This is horrible timing for our life. Seriously, it could not be worse. But that's the thing about an oops litter, right? It's an oops. So thinking that you can like plan your perfect timing for a litter is just nonsense. And since we wouldn't choose to have them now, but since we have them, we're gonna do the very best we can with the knowledge we can get in the time that we have. We're gonna try and give her the best nutrition and health, have them have the best delivery, and have all the vaccinations and socialization and training we can possibly give them to make them the best household pets that we can, because we want them to have a good life. We don't want to be irresponsible with the life that we are accidentally bringing into the world. That said, we don't know what we're doing, and if you're watching this, it's already happened. These are shadows of things that have been, and so I'm all for educating each other. Be respectful in the comments. I know that the ethics of puppies and dog breeding and how things are done and how dogs are treated is like an incredible minefield, and I understand that, but part of why I want to contribute this to the conversation is because I want there to be a source of like very honest, vulnerable, this is what it's like to have a litter of puppies, so that people don't decide to do them just like for fun, you know? Because I suspect many aspects of this are not going to be fun. Here's my fears. Number one, I'm very concerned about losing any of the puppies, particularly because very young moms sometimes eat their puppies, and that's horrifying to me. I'm very concerned about that. Or that like will lose puppies because of not taking good enough care of their health, or I don't know. Puppies are very vulnerable, and I'm very scared about that. I'm sad that our dog isn't even a year yet, and she is so smart. We thought our other border collie was smart, and she was, but Tilly is smarter than that even. And you heard your name? And but she has a long way to go. She's a puppy, and I really hope that having this experience so young doesn't stifle her learning process of getting to be more mature, well trained. Like I already felt bad that I wasn't giving her the time and training she needed, and now I'm gonna have less time. And so I don't want her to just be like stymied where she is because of having had this experience. I also don't want her to have any kind of health problems or medical emergencies related to this. And my third biggest fear is I want all these puppies to go to really good homes, and I don't want to be responsible for a dog like ending up in a bad situation. So we're going to be extremely particular about where they go. And I also am going to have a video, I know for sure, a video about the expenses involved in this process, because if your other motivating factor in having a litter of puppies is like, it'd be a great way to make some money, I'm thinking for the most part, a one-off litter, especially like a random combo, like goldendoodle meet border collie, you're probably going to spend more money than you make. That's my hypothesis. I could be wrong. We're going to find out. I will have a video all about the costs of this whole process to break down everything we spent so that you know. Because sometimes people are like, it's so expensive to spend $500 on a puppy, but from what I hear, sometimes that is breaking even for people that raise the puppy. So we'll see what happens. Come along if you want.